In this episode of Meet Interesting People, we'll focus on football environment. English Premier League is considered by many people the best football league in the world. Michael MacNeill has been involved in this league in a very specific role. I had an interview with Michael, which I will show you, but before, let's have a look at this short introduction of his career. Michael MacNeill is an Englishman who has worked as a football scout for over 25 years with several professional clubs in England, including 15 years in the Premier League with Charlton Athletic and currently Crystal Palace. His work includes both identifying and recommending players for purchase as well as opposition analysis. He has attended over 2,000 games, including all levels in England, but also games in France, Germany, Belgium, Spain, USA, Croatia, Bulgaria, Czech Republic and Malta. He has attended matches in the Champions League and Europa League, plus European Championships, World Cups and Olympics. Additionally, Michael has been coaching for over 35 years, helping young players from grassroots to professional academy level. Hi Michael, it's my pleasure to welcome you in this discussion.
Hello Andrej, it's really good to see you and to speak to you again.
Thank you Michael. You are heavily involved in the English professional football. Last week you visited the Premier League match, Everton against Brighton. Why specifically this game and what was your task?
Okay, so I work for Crystal Palace. My main role is as a live opposition scout. So I attend the very last game before we play a team. So our next game is Brighton, so therefore I watch the game before. Now, previously you'd have lots of people going to games live, but in the modern game, we use a lot more video. So we have guys at the club who watch previous games on video. We also have people who collect data on the teams we are going to play. And I then go and watch a game live, and we bring all this information together to prepare our plan on how we will play against them in our next league game. And that's what I do through the season. So I always go and watch our next opponents in their very last game before we play them.
Your main area of expertise has been a professional scouting. What is scouting about and who have you worked for?
Okay, so scouting generally falls into two areas, Andrej. It's identifying players and watching opposition. Certainly, I've worked for a range of clubs over 25 years. I started off working in the sort of second and third level of the professional football in England. So Huddersfield Town, Plymouth Argyle, Lincoln City. Then I went to the Premier League with Charlton Athletic and worked there for 8 years. Had further stints at teams, Portsmouth, Southampton, Southend, Crystal Palace, Huddersfield, Rotherham, and now I'm back at Crystal Palace again. Back in the Premier League. At different clubs, I have a different role. So currently with Crystal Palace, it's mainly about opposition, watching teams we're going to play. At some of the clubs I've worked at, it's about identifying talent, trying to find new players. Some clubs working in England. For some clubs like Huddersfield, I was doing more work abroad in France and Belgium, trying to find players for that level.
You have been also analysing big Premier League stars. Michael, who did impress you most and why?
There's been a lot of good players, Andrej, in the last 15, 25 years that I've been doing this. But in the Premier League, certainly in the last 10 years that I've been working, David Silva of Manchester City, I think is fantastic. He was a brilliant player. As a midfield player myself, I appreciated his ability to get on the ball and move the ball quickly, dictate the tempo of play, connect players. If he wasn't the assist, sometimes he was the pass before the assist. He made things happen. So I saw a couple of games where I probably saw the most complete performance from a midfield player I think I've ever seen. So I liked watching him. I couldn't watch him too much because I couldn't afford him. So I had to watch the other players in the game. But when I did get the chance to see him, it was a pleasure.
Michael, you have been scouting for 25 years. How has it changed during this time?
Andrej, it's changed so much in the last 25 years, as you will have seen yourself. In terms of scouting, 25 years ago, pretty much all the time, we had to go to the games live. We had to make reports. Also, reports in those days was pen and paper, and I had to put it in the post and email it and send it into the club. Obviously, these days, everything is done by computers and web hubs, so everything is online. There's a lot more data. There's a lot more analysis in terms of statistics. Also, we do a lot more work requiring video work, so we can watch a player a number of times via video. But we still do some live scouting, so we can see the player in the flesh, because there are some things you can see live that you cannot see or cannot pick up if you watch them on video. But yes, in terms of how you acquire a player now, there is so much more information. There is so much more preparation and planning that goes into it, but it has to be more preparation because these are a lot bigger financial outlays than they were 25 years ago.
Why do you think, Michael, many people say the Premier League is the best league in the world?
It's such a competitive league that every team can beat another league, and the standard gets higher each year. And it's not just the standard of the players, the standard of the coaching, the work that we have to do. We can't just say, okay, this is how we analysed the team last year or the year before. This is what we do next year. We have to become better in ourselves. It expects us as scouts and everybody within a club to improve their standards year on year, to become and to be able to compete, let alone be something like Liverpool and excel and win at such a high level.
Michael, thank you for your time and answers. I wish you all the best in future.
It's great to talk to you again, Andrej. Good to see you.